So about that storm on Friday, the snow came today. There might be more on Friday, but yeah, I got up this morning to find it was lightly snowing, and I went, oh, okay, it shouldn't be too bad. I got on my bike, got down there pretty quick, um, went to class. We're already talking about the next exam, which is truly frightening. Oh, God dang, I forget that that's fenced off. But yeah, so got through that class, and then I met up with Cedric over at the creamery, which is like where they have Aggie ice cream on the other side, but they also had like just like grilled cheese and tomato soup. And so we sat there and we talked, and I like went over some of the tools that Father so graciously lent me. Then we went down to the innovation lab. I guess I'm skipping stuff. So I biked down here, and then the snow had gotten so high in like the 50 minutes I was in class that I walked my bike back up, resubmitted some homework just to make sure that I'd done it correctly, and then I walked back down to the creamery, and then we walked over to the lab. We got most of the stuff done like pretty quick. You know, all the shaping and sanding, and me accidentally putting the car in crooked, and so having to recut everything. I think they turned out pretty good. I'd show you, but I don't want to pull it out of my backpack since it's snowing again. Also because that would require me fiddling around with this heavy bag while walking, and or putting my stuff down on the wet ground. So that'll probably be tomorrow's video, because hopefully, no, I'll be working closing tomorrow. I won't have access to that unless I'm sitting somewhere underneath the overhang with the junction. Yeah, we did a lot of the working and shaping there, and then we did like the nails and the wheels, and we did it like a little bit out of order, but all in all, it went pretty well. Then, I'm trying to see. Oh, we did have to skip a couple steps that Dad explained to me, just because like the wheel and nail configuration was a little different. Like the nails that Dad and I had like talked about and gone over are usually ribbed, and just these nails didn't have that, so we had to skip some steps there, and other steps we just couldn't do. Like the like axle point for the wheel is like smaller, I think, and I just couldn't bevel out the inside of the wheels. What else is there? Alright, we did that, and then we went, well, we should probably paint them at this point before we get the wheel set in. So we went to the library. The library didn't have any paint. Went to his dorm. He had to keep a couple colors in a box. So we painted with those, and then went back to the engineering lab, and we got the wheels installed properly. Well, mostly. I think mine are still a little too loose. They have just a little bit too much play, but I'll tinker with that. The one thing is, the kits did not include weights, so I'm probably going to see if there's any just like Pinewood Derby weights on Amazon, because otherwise our cars are like 2.5 grams, which is not a lot and will not go very fast. There's a lot of cars, which I guess makes sense, but the game's been over for like, what, like half an hour now? Anyways, so we got all of those done, and then I went and I worked concessions for the basketball game, which I got to see basically none of because I was in a corner little room off of the stadium. Or, not the stadium, just the general audience room. I guess I could probably talk about getting in there. The door that they'd pointed out on the map they emailed me yesterday, there was someone there, but they were like mostly doing cleaning, didn't know what was going on. And so I got redirected to some other guy. And then once I actually got in, it was pretty straightforward. I just went, I'm from the junction, and according to this paper, I think I'm working over at 8. And they're like, okay, that's the person over there, and then that's the person over there. And I get there, and eventually they're like, okay, we're just gonna have you working the cashier right here. And you know, it was pretty easy. We used one of those like Clover registers, which are the ones where you just like can scan people's credit cards. So it was just fill in the stuff that they got and then send it through, and then they can scan their cards. So pretty quick. Of course, it really surges at the very start and at the halftime. We were supposed to have a little bit more time to get ready, but because it was still snowing, they let people in early. So we got caught a little off guard just trying to keep up and actually have food out. Most of the time it was fairly quiet, but like, you know, even when the game was in session, we'd usually have 1 or 2 people come up to grab a water or something. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Game wrapped up around 10:45-ish, and at that point we were all dismissed. Then Cedric just asked if I could come and double check some stuff with him with the Derby cars, and yeah, so I think all that's left is just seeing if I can track down some weights, because we checked coins and our cars are too light for coins to make up the difference. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. Tomorrow is probably just classes and work. I don't think anything too exciting. Friday should be fairly quiet, and then Saturday all the fun happens. Although we might have to change our plans of fun considering the weather. I think I have somewhere still the like papers that explain how to like rent board games and whatnot if we need to switch to that. Oh, I got a notification that the sunglasses arrived to replace the ones I accidentally left in the car. But they'll be closed by now, so I probably won't be able to grab those till in the morning. But I can at least like check the normal mail, which has just become my automatic habit. I think that's everything. Yeah, I could probably go into like a couple other random details from Concessions, but this video is already like 8.5 minutes long, and I can probably go a lot faster when I'm not talking at my phone. So I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I hope you all have a lovely night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.